And welcome back. I'm here with Kimberly Williams of Baystate Health. Kimberly, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So, Baystate is putting on a conference, Diversity and Inclusion Conference.
That's right.
And what's the date for that?
September 10th.
September 10th.
Tuesday, September 10th.
So, let's back up a little bit. For the people that may not know you, what is your role at Baystate?
I work at Baystate as a diversity consultant, which is shorthand for I do a little bit of everything. But my primary role there is really focusing on education and awareness for Baystate Health employees. And because of our organization's charitable mission, we often do a lot of work around diversity and inclusion for our community partners as well.
So, for the people that may be living under a rock and may not know what diversity and inclusion mean, what does it mean?
Okay, so that's really a big part of this conference.
Yeah.
But just to give you a little teaser, when we define diversity at Baystate, what we're really talking about are all the things that make us different from one another, right? Mm-hmm. So no two of us are alike. No matter how many similarities we might have, there are that many things that make us different from our personality type, the way we work, our ethnic background, our experiences, our religion. So we all are different from one another. And there's a lot of value in that difference, as that's what our belief is, and there's all kinds of research that indicates that to be true. But the challenge is that sometimes those differences get in the way of allowing us to work well together with a group or as a team. Because I have my set of beliefs and experiences that may be very deeply rooted. You have your own set of experiences and beliefs that may be deeply rooted, and sometimes those collide. And that's what inclusion is. So inclusion is how do we structure our behavior and our attitudes so that we can leverage those differences for positive and for growth and development and to further the mission of the organization ultimately. So how do we leverage those differences in a way that's positive? So that's what diversity is, that's what inclusion is, that's the work of our office, and our conference is designed to really speak to people on a very high level around diversity and inclusion. So again, what is it, why is it important, who should care about this, and how can you demonstrate that you care about it? So very surface. We're not going to dig deep to talk about all the different dimensions of diversity, but we'll talk about things like how to be a champion, what is a diversity champion, and what are some things that you can do to support diversity and inclusion in your organization, no matter what that organization is. We'll talk about the business case. So a lot of businesses are now trying to create and develop D&I strategies, and that requires effort and money and sometimes a dedicated effort. So how could I, as a champion, go to my organization and say, this is why this is important, and this is how it'll help our organization long term. So some education, some awareness, and most importantly, networking. So we've got about 280 folks so far registered from across the region. So from northern Connecticut into the Berkshires, and we tried to get over there to eastern Connecticut, but we've got a smattering of folks from there. But so a bunch of folks in the room who are looking at diversity and inclusion from lots of different perspectives and are able to share what they know, what they want to know, and to build some relationships.
So, speaking of attendees, who can come?
Anybody in the world. What we're looking for, we're targeting people who are diversity practitioners, so folks like myself who may have offices of diversity in their organization or who may serve as a diversity and inclusion expert in their particular business. We're looking for people on the opposite end of that spectrum who may work in an organization and just say, you know what, I think this is important and I want to understand what more I can do to be a champion, or I'd like to figure out how to create this kind of structure in my organization. So across the board in terms of levels, all the way from champion to practitioner, across industry. So we have people registered from the not-for-profit world. We have folks registered from higher ed, corporate, of course. So really anyone who considers themselves or wants to build a competency around being a diversity champion all the way up to a practitioner would find this conference very useful.
So if viewers wanted to buy a ticket or get
Yes.
more information,
Yes.
where can they go?
A couple ways they can find out. So we have a website. Easiest way to do this, if you're already online, is to Google Baystate Health Diversity and Inclusion Conference, and that'll take you to a number of places. Our Eventbrite event page is where we have most of the information and an opportunity to register directly. We have a page on our Baystate Health external website. We also have an event in Facebook and a group on LinkedIn. So again, the best way to find any of the information is to just search Baystate Health Diversity and Inclusion Conference.
And if you're watching this video, we will probably have it in the information below.
Right there. And let me just say something about the price point. So, I have the very fortunate opportunity to be able to attend diversity and inclusion conferences around the country. We build it into part of our professional development budget, and I know lots of organizations don't have that. So we have tried to price this conference at an amount that really is doable for most. So the full conference rate is $160. There's a discount rate if you're one of our member organizations, and that information is also available on Eventbrite. There are group discount opportunities, so we've really tried to do our best to make it an affordable price point.
And it is an all-day conference.
It is a full-day conference, which includes breakfast, lunch, a couple snacks, and a reception. So it is a full day. If a person out there is an HR professional who needs credits to keep up their certification, we will also be offering accreditation for HR professionals. So that's a really nice benefit. And again, I just think it's going to be an awesome learning experience, one that you will not have ever experienced, at least in this part of the country. So I think we're cornering the market on this type of conference.
That's great. Check it out. Go to the links. If you have any information, there's contact information on there.
Absolutely.
And we will be right back.
Yes.
Thanks again for coming in.
My pleasure.